Hi, this is Joe Wang here with more tips and examples on how to live a fruitful life. Today, I'll be discussing about having a disability and still, living the best life you can, living life to the fullest even with a disability. Because the thing is that according to statistics, 20% of Americans have one way or another some sort of disability. And the key is that even if you have a disability, you can still have a fruitful life. You just gotta make sure that you do not dwell on your disability. Make sure that you do not feel bad that you have a disability, but still live life to the best. Live life to the best you can with the abilities that you still have. So today I'm gonna have two of my friends along with me. Us three will be sharing about a video game character with disabilities, with disabilities both physically and mentally. So yeah, let's take a look.
I am going to be briefly talking about the beautiful, wonderfully developed, visually stunning game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. And so in the game, the protagonist, Senua, is going on a journey in order to try and bring her deceased lover back to life. In it, she believes that she is cursed by some of the deities of Helheim to have all these negative voices in her head. It's something that they do in this game that is really cool is that it says created in collaboration with neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice will put you deep into Senua's mind. So they actually did the research and they asked people who experience psychosis themselves what it's like and then created the experience through that. But as you begin the game, immediately you will hear with the incredible voice acting, her own thoughts, the narrator, and the voices that she hears in her head, which are often incredibly negative and harsh. They often tell her she's going to fail, she's not going to succeed, it's pointless, she's incapable, she's dumb, which is very much a reflection of the way that a lot of people with psychosis and other delusional disorders experience their hallucinations. I personally am not a person who finds horror games very frightening because it's not real, and yet this game, this beautifully made game, really got to me. It's a harrowing on a deep, gut-wrenching level in a way that is... It really helps those of us like me who have never experienced psychosis to be able to see through the eyes of somebody who's suffering from something like that. And considering that the way that video games typically like to showcase mental illness in terms of just, oh, she's got PTSD, therefore we're gonna make her into a super soldier monster thing and she's crazy, she's gonna kill everybody, or oh no, amnesia. It's often used as an excuse to be why a character is dangerous or scary, rather than being something that's supposed to be an actual reflection of the way that people with mental illnesses experience them, which is what I think is absolutely beautiful about this game, is it's so deeply tragic in a perfect way, not only in the grief that Senua feels, which is incredibly tangible, but also in the torment that she experiences as a result of the psychosis that she lives with constantly.
We'll be talking a little bit about BioShock 2 and kind of the struggles and disabilities that the main character in it has, going into the storyline and really what's going on with it. So to start out, I need to give a little bit of background of what's going on in BioShock 2. So BioShock 2 takes place in mid-20th century in a city called Rapture, which was built underneath the ocean. And Rapture, after they built it, they discovered this sea slug down there that excreted this material that they eventually called Adam. And what Adam does is it genetically alters human beings, or it can be used to genetically alter human beings, so people could, be able to cure themselves more quickly. They could gain certain powers, abilities, and so on. So after they discovered this, the demands for this material skyrocketed, as any sort of thing like that would skyrocket. And the sea slugs weren't producing enough of this material, so they had to experiment to try and figure out a way to produce more of this atom. And they discovered after a lot of experimentation that they could produce the atom, more of the atom, if they incubated the sea slugs inside the stomachs of little girls. Now this genetically altered the little girls, but it made them essentially atom factories. They produced this genetic material like crazy. And they discovered that they needed a protector for these little girls. Because high demand, they just need to safeguard the atom. So they created these protectors called Big Daddies. Now, Big Daddies are regular human beings, but they've been put inside this deep sea suit. They are genetically altered, so they're stronger, they have certain powers and abilities and so on. They also have a drill that they can attach to their arm and use. So they're pretty effective protectors of little sisters. So Bioshock 2 starts, and you're playing a person called Delta or Subject Delta, and he is a Big Daddy. And his entire goal throughout the game is to reconnect with his little sister. And that's his entire impetus. But he has, kind of three little disabilities, I suppose you would call them. So first off, the process of creating him is extreme. I think torture would be considered to be torture. And the process leaves him, so that's the first thing. Then it leaves him with two other disabilities. He can't speak. He can make animalistic type sounds like growls or lurch type noises. And also erases his memory. He has amnesia.
For me, when it comes to characters of video games with disabilities, I would always think about the Sly Cooper series, this game. Because the thing is that this game talks a lot about how, how a character who is very important to the group got a disability, he got paralyzed, and at the same time, he did not let his conditions identify him. So I'm gonna give a quick background of the game. So as you can see, Sly is in this picture, Sly is a gray raccoon. And Sly basically grew up in a family of outlaws. His main family profession was to steal from other gang members and thieves. And that was how they accumulate their wealth. Ever since his parents died, Sly believed it was his job to continue the legacy. So what he did was he invited two of his best friends, Bentley, which is a gruddy turtle, as well as Murray, a pig. And the trio just went on numerous adventures across the world to basically take down as many thieves, as many outlaws, and whatnot. Bentley, the turtle, had his own unique job. He was mostly like a nerd, basically sitting down on a desk and planning on how to execute the schemes. So like he would tell, Sly to say, hey Sly, go, maybe you should go behind these pillars to hide and go into stealth mode. Or maybe he would tell Sly, say, are you sure you want to do this? Maybe Murray would be a better suit for it. Or he might sometimes tell Sly, say, oh, this may be dangerous. Are you sure you can handle it? And then he would also give him like tips on how to, like what to watch out and how to, go into the place, take what you want and leave as if nothing had happened, like a sneaky little thief, you could say. However, the trio, though they had a great time together, one tragic thing happened. During a tough boss fight, Bentley got severely injured. You know, he got hit by a jaw, and basically it left him paralyzed for life. So basically, ever since that instance, he basically had to rely on a wheelchair wherever he goes, like a full-time wheelchair user. No, that sucks, right? Everybody knows, you know, it sucks when you become physically disabled and you have to go in a wheelchair, because the thing is that, you know, walking is very important in accomplishing any daily task, you know, whether it's going to work, whether it's going to school, whether, you know, it's just hanging out with friends, you know, anything requires, you know, leg movements. And when you realize that, you know, all those, you know, God-given abilities taken away from you because of an accident, or, you know, especially for an accident, you know, it sucks. You know, it's as if, you know, you're still breathing, you're still living, but you're stuck, you know, in this place. You're just there's so many restrictions in life, that a lot of things that you cannot do, you know. That's like the worst nightmare that anyone can have. However, you know, though Bentley knew of his condition, he did not let his physical disability identify him. You know, he could have just sat down and sulked about it and just like always complain about, oh, how his life sucks, oh, how he wished that, you know, they didn't take down that boss fight and all of that. But the thing is that instead, you know, he tried to live his life to still the fullest. What he did was he decided to, hey, I need to upgrade my wheelchair, you know. So he basically added, you know, booster rockets, you know, to his chair, as along with hover packs where he could fly. He could have the ability to fly and shoot at enemies from above. Remarkable, isn't it? You know, basically he turned something that was tragic into a blessing. You know, like he was better off having a disability than not having a disability. You know, it's amazing how he could just turn something that seems like a dead end into something so beautiful. So as you can see from the three characters that we mentioned, they all have some sort of disability. However, even though they have a disability, you know, they could still live their life to the fullest. They still did not give up in life. You know, it's really important, because the thing is that, you know, like, it's always important to focus on the abilities that you have rather than dwell on the abilities that you don't have. You know, focus on your strengths, you know, and develop it to the fullest, and life will be so much better that way. It's like one of my friends said, you know, there is no such thing as special needs or disability. I mean, even though there's that official label, there is no such thing. You know, special needs and disabled people are actually specially abled, because each and every one of you has some sort of talents, some sort of strengths that you excel. You know, it's just that, you know, you may have a lot of other weaknesses, but there are certain things that you do so well. You know, you do so well that other people may not. So yeah, this is all I have for today. If you want to get a bigger glimpse on how a disabled person, you know, can still live a fruitful and happy life, you know, please subscribe to Sophia the Tiny Kitten Human. And if you want to learn more about, you know, the philosophical side of life, or like, of life and, different news about gaming, as well as, like watch, the live stream of some games, feel free to subscribe to VG Philosophy. And last but not least, if you want to learn more tips and examples on how to live a fruitful life, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.